Welcome to the HVAC Business Growth Podcast. Is your business getting beaten by the competition or your profits dwindling? It's time to kickstart your HVAC business. Here's your host, Nick Balowski.
Hello everybody, welcome to the HVAC Business Growth Podcast. I'm your host, Nick Balowski. We've got a big episode planned for you today. This is the social media episode. So what we've got planned for you today is we're going to go through the big four social media sites on the internet. We're going to go through Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn and Google+. I'm going to give you some stats on each of those, explain how they work, and then towards the end of the podcast what we're going to do is actually cover a strategy that's going to show you how to work with Facebook and Twitter. So let's get stuck into the show. So let's start with Facebook. Facebook is the brainchild of the famous Mark Zuckerberg. It's important to note that Facebook is the number 2 website behind Google in terms of traffic on a daily and monthly basis. So it actually interchanges from time to time, where Facebook sometimes goes to number 1 in front of Google. So it's no surprise that Facebook is a really massive and important site. So as of October 2012, they have 1 billion active users. That's billion with a B. The staggering stat that I find, though, is that 81% of these people actually reside outside of the US and Canada. So it really has taken on a global aspect to it, which I think is fantastic. So out of these 1 billion active users, 584 million of these people are actually daily users of Facebook. And I think that's really important from an advertising perspective and a way of getting your message out there. We're going to talk about that a little bit later. So 604 million of the Facebook users actually use their mobile phone. So that means they're getting away from the desktop and they're actually using their mobile phone, either sitting at home on the couch doing it, or they're actually out on the run checking their Facebook account. So the great thing about Facebook and its mobile usage is that people are consuming every second of every day. So if you can get your message out in front of these people, you're going to get quite a lot of spread of your message and you're going to get a viral aspect to it. So I think that's fantastic. So let's discuss Twitter. Twitter is probably the second biggest social media site out there. It currently ranks number 10 on the daily traffic list. So there's quite a few good websites in front of it. So let's just go through a few of the statistics for Twitter. Twitter has 340 million tweets per day and 140 million active users every month. So if you're not familiar with Twitter, I'll just cover how that actually works. It's basically a micro messaging platform or a micro blogging platform. And you can put messages on there and they can be up to the size of 140 characters. So it's only a few sentences. So short and concise messages work very well on Twitter. The great thing about Twitter is it actually works in real time. So you can tweet something and whatever you tweet can actually come up on the Twitter homepage or on people's Twitter accounts on their timelines in real time, so almost instantly there. And because it does this, news actually frequently breaks on Twitter and then gets distributed out to the various news channels. So Twitter's a great place to start building your audience. I'm going to recommend that you do that a little bit later on in the show. And we actually announced on one of our news videos last week that Twitter has recently given away $1 million in paid advertising credits. So they're going down the paid advertising route just like Facebook. And I think it's great. You can get your message out on the Twitter relatively cheaply and use it to draw people to come to your website. So LinkedIn, I feel, is one of the other big social media sites in the world. It's actually ranked number 13, so it's slightly behind Twitter. So if you're not familiar with LinkedIn, it's basically a business networking type of site. So it's a little bit different to your normal social media sites. It works in much the same way, but the audience is a lot different. It's, like I said, it's more of the business type of person that's actually there. So I feel, because you're in the HVAC market or the HVAC industry, that LinkedIn is probably only relevant for you if you're doing commercial or industrial work. So if you're working in those two markets, I think that you can make LinkedIn work for you. If you're really just going into the residential market, then probably isn't worth the effort just yet, although you can do some pretty cool paid advertising things on there. The Google Plus is the new kid on the block, so to speak. So Google Plus is Google's answer to Facebook and Twitter. So Google have realized that social media is where it's at. It's where a lot of active users actually hang out. So that's how Google Plus was born. So Google actually uses Google Plus to help improve its search algorithm. So what they do is scan Google Plus for various stories and help to determine the weight of particular stories and web pages, and they feed that information back into their search algorithm, which they weren't able to easily do with Facebook and Twitter because they didn't have pure access to all of the data that was there. So a few statistics for Google Plus: they have 400 million total users and 100 million monthly active users. So I think the reason that there's such a discrepancy in the numbers there between 400 million and 100 million is that people just aren't quite sure about Google Plus yet. A lot of people were invited to get accounts when it first opened up. If anybody has any Google Apps accounts or Gmail or anything like that, or they're using other Google products, then they would have received quite a few invites to join Google Plus, and people just aren't quite sure about how it's panning out just yet. But it's only been recently that I've started to advise people that I look after and people in business to actually get on board Google Plus. So have your own personal account and get a Google Plus business page as well. I think it's worth your while. So what I've just done is given you an overview of what I feel are the 4 main social media profiles that are out there that would have some sort of effect on your business. So now we're going to discuss how we can actually use these social media platforms. So I feel there's 2 main reasons to be using social media, and the first one is probably not the most important, but the first one is you need to use social media to see what people are actually saying about your business. So they can be saying positive and negative things about your business. If it's negative, you need to know by using these social media platforms as quickly as possible. If somebody has any grievances or any complaints about your business, you can find out these things in real time, and you can make arrangements, or you can contact the person who made the complaint on social media and get in contact with them and try and make things better. The absolute worst thing that can happen is somebody can have a really bad experience with your business, and then it gets tweeted or Facebooked all over social media, and then before you know it, you've got an absolute wildfire on your hands. And the thing about social media is that it's incredibly viral. So somebody can create a post. If they have 1,000 followers or 100 people liking their Facebook page or their Twitter account, then those 100 people find out, and then they can notify other people as well. And not only that, Twitter in particular is a search engine as well. So if people are looking for things related to your business or your industry, then it's going to come up in those search results. So it's probably one of the most important, but also one of the most dangerous aspects of social media. So what I feel is the most important thing with social media is that you can actually build an audience with it. And we're going to discuss that right now. So I think Twitter is fantastic for building an audience. So how do you build an audience with Twitter? Well, let's go over it. So what you can do is actually tweet relevant stories about your industry or about your business. You can let your followers know about news that's going on in your business or any new content that you're actually releasing. You can also tweet about local news in your area. So if you do any of these things that I just mentioned above, you will find followers on Twitter this way. So how many tweets do I recommend per day? I do recommend around 1 to 10 tweets per day, and it just depends on your market and how much content you actually have. 1 tweet per day I feel is like the absolute minimum thing that you can do. 10 could be pushing the envelope a little bit depending on your market. I like to think of it this way. If your business is open for trade, say 8 hours per day, then I'd like to have at least 1 tweet going out every hour or every 2 hours, just to try and get some coverage across that day. So you'll find that if you know where the stories are, and you can put news on there, plus some other witty comments that just might be about how the weather is or how your favourite football team's going or something like that, you can get some followers very, very quickly. So the secret to this is to actually keep doing this and build an audience. Don't just try this for a week and then give up on it. It's something that you'll gain a lot of momentum with. If you do it for a minimum of 90 days, then you'll actually get a good gauge for whether it's relevant for your business at all. So one thing that I do recommend is that you don't post crap to your Twitter feed. If you start posting crap to your Twitter feed, then people will unfollow you and you'll lose them and you'll lose your audience. So you don't want to get any kind of negative reputation there. So make sure that the content that you're linking to, the stories you're giving out, or the news that you are releasing is of good quality. So the benefits from Twitter actually start to come in after your following is of decent quality and of decent size. So if you want news to get out about your business, you can actually tweet about it, and then hopefully if your followers are savvy enough and they like you enough, they will actually retweet some of the content that you put out there. So if you get enough retweets, then your message can go viral very, very quickly. If you think about the maths on this situation just quickly, say if you have 100 followers and you tweet something, if you get that retweeted 5 times by your followers and they each have 100 followers, it multiplies out very quickly. So you've gone from being able to reach 100 people in that example to now reaching 600 people, and then there is lots and lots of downstream effects that happen from there if other people retweet that from other people's audiences. So once you get some leverage with Twitter, it actually works really, really well. And there's a hidden SEO benefit to this as well, where social media only recently became a ranking factor. So if your content is actually getting retweeted and shared around on Twitter, then Google and the other search engines actually take this into account and actually give the pages on your website or the page that you're linking to a little bit more weight. So having a strong Twitter following is fantastic from a social point of view, but also from a search engine optimization point of view. I'd like to give you some more advice about Twitter, particularly about how you operate your account. So I think you should have 2 accounts. You should have a business account that's actually under the business name, and you should also have a personal account as well. So you need to fill out all of these profiles. So nothing screams a spam account or an unused account. So nothing screams a spam account more than one that actually isn't filled out at all. So you need to put a nice image either of you or of the business on your Twitter profile image. You also need to fill out all of the details that are actually in your profile. And the final thing that I suggest that you do is actually set up an account with Twilert. So what Twilert does is it links up to your email account and it basically scans Twitter, and then you can program Twilert to email you anytime that your name is actually mentioned on the internet or your business account is mentioned on the internet. So this is great for spotting wildfires or any customer service complaints before they actually start. So I highly recommend that you use Twilert. So the next way that you can build an audience in social media is using Facebook. So I recommend that you get a business page for Facebook. So don't worry about using your own Facebook account. And what you want to do here is actually fill out the profile just like I said before with Twitter. So put a nice image in there, add some nice photos, and actually fill out the details on your Facebook business page. So what you want to do with Facebook is take a little bit more of a premium type of approach. So unlike Twitter, where we wanted to put between 1 to 10 tweets or stories out there per day, what we want to do is put our latest, freshest, and best content on Facebook. Now you can link to other stories as well, but Facebook is great for driving high quality traffic to your own website. So anytime you create a new page on your site, whether it's a new blog post or you have news about your business or some sort of sale on or promotion or anything like that, use Facebook to announce it and then drive some traffic back to your website. It's important on Facebook that you engage your audience as best as you can. And it's actually been proven that pictures work really, really well on Facebook. For some reason, people are engaged with that little bit more, and they actually start liking and sharing and actually engaging with the pictures that you put on. So if you can, where possible, use images or pictures with all of the Facebook posts that you push out. Now, Facebook have actually made a change recently that makes it almost a necessity to go down the paid advertising route. So what they've done is introduce what's called the EdgeRank algorithm. So basically what that means is the stories and the content that you post on Facebook doesn't stay up just like a regular timeline does, say on Twitter, for example. Facebook actually ranks the weight of the story according to your profile and then also how many likes it gets, and then determines where to put it on people's timelines. So if you're continually putting poor content onto Facebook and people aren't liking it, then your stuff is going to fall off people's timelines very, very quickly. And this also explains how you see some of these videos and funny images get so many likes and stay on people's Facebook pages for so long, or stay on their timelines for so long, is that they keep getting liked by lots and lots of people. They keep getting shared around, and they just stay on people's timelines for a very long time, and that's how they pick up 1 million likes and they get shared around. Anyway, so I've digressed a little bit there. So I highly recommend that you're using Facebook paid advertising to promote your business. So you can do it in a couple of ways. If you put a new post up there, you can actually get this page promoted or get the post promoted on Facebook. So that helps to push it up people's timelines and just keep it there for a little bit longer. And it's going to depend really on your market and what type of audience that you're trying to reach on Facebook. That will determine how much you're going to pay per like or per engagement with your Facebook page or your website. So the second thing that you can do is actually just purely promote your business. So what you're doing here is you're actually promoting your Facebook business page. So ideally you get some good quality likes to your Facebook page. And the reason why I say good quality is you actually don't want everybody liking your page. It doesn't actually make it worthwhile for you to be paying for generalized likers. And I'll tell you why. If you're operating any kind of local business, meaning that you're focusing on a particular market area or a city, then getting likes in other countries isn't really going to make a difference to you at all, because they're not going to be the people buying your stuff. So you want really high quality targeted Facebook likes to your Facebook page. So it's important to remember with Facebook that at most times, not all the time, you're trying to drive traffic back to your website. Remember, Facebook isn't your platform, so you can get banned or shut off, or Facebook could go down at any time. So if you've built up an audience on Facebook and you haven't ported them across to your website, then shame on you, because you could lose those people at any moment. The positive is that it is a list, although you can't view the list, but it is a list of people that are interested in your business or your topic. So at any stage, if you want to, you can actually engage with these people by putting content out there and hopefully driving these people back to your website. So now it's time for the HVAC Business Growth Tip of the Week. So the tip of the week is that you cannot ignore social media. Whatever you do, actually take an active interest in social media. Don't palm off the Facebook page or the Twitter page to the assistant or the person working on the front desk just to have a look at it every now and again. Actually give it to a specific person or the marketing department and actually have it part of their portfolio where they're spending time on it every single day. It's really, really important that you leverage these social media platforms. Remember, Facebook has 604 million monthly mobile users, 584 million daily active users on average. That's a lot of people, and a lot of those people are going to be interested in your products and services. And not only that, if you're doing any kind of search engine optimization, Google and Yahoo and Bing, they're all looking at these social media platforms for guidance in terms of who to rank well on their own platforms. So you cannot ignore social media. So that's all we've got time for today. I'm Nick Balowski for HVACBusinessGrowth.com.
This has been another edition of the HVAC Business Growth Podcast. For more marketing tips and strategies, go to the website HVACBusinessGrowth.com.